The startup tech bubble is bursting and all tech bros should be afraid. In this video, I'm going to talk about 3 types of tech bros I think will suffer the most.
Let's get back to work.
Get back to work.
America is back to work.
My name is April and I'm a tech recruiter. Thanks for visiting this channel, and I'm sorry to offend you if I said tech bros. This is just a clickbait title. I don't mean actual tech bros. This is not a weird comedy sketch. This is real advice for people in the industry. But birds of a feather flock together, and there are repeating patterns in the tech industry and how people behave with their career. And I'm seeing 3 types of people in the industry that are really going to suffer as the tech bubble bursts. First one being job hoppers. I've talked about this in other videos, but tech just has an open mind to short job tenures. Partially that is due to startups. Sometimes they go out of business, sometimes they're just not good at hiring, and sometimes they hire someone that is not a personality match with management or the rest of the team, leading to a short job tenure. I'll also say some of these short job tenure are due to introductory periods and people not passing them. I've seen resumes with 4 to 5 jobs they've only stayed at for 3 to 4 months. I know that's an introductory period. The open-mindedness to short job tenures does have logic behind it, but it seems obvious that people have been taking advantage of it. You don't really have to search that far on YouTube to find someone else encouraging software engineers to change jobs every 1.5 to 2 years so that they can get a salary raise. But the sad truth is people get raises who deserve raises. And a lot of people in tech that have been job hopping for higher salaries, well, now they're just people who are overpaid and who have higher expectations of compensation on the job. I see the job hopping happening mostly at entry level, mid, and edging to senior level in career, but you don't really see that happen too much with managers, save but the few startup engineering manager directors. I know you're out there, but I see job hopping mainly with people who have 0 to 7 years of experience. Yeah, I mean, that is a long time frame, but people hop a lot. Well, as soon as companies stop producing profit or just struggle to keep their stock prices up, well, suddenly every company is going to turn into an old school conservative company where they are going to increase the pressure at work or reduce staff. Job hoppers are usually on the chopping block when it comes to layoffs, and resumes with tons of short tenures will be quickly ignored by these newly conservative companies. So what will happen to these people in the future? Well, I could foresee a lot of people rejecting job offers due to salary expectations, stock issues, or remote issues, just to find themselves a few months later unable to get a single job offer. There are people that are homeless in San Francisco who were once software engineers for companies as big as Google, but they became homeless. I know this firsthand because they were too picky about jobs. And that was happening before a recession. So I feel confident that a lot of people will find themselves in this sticky situation where they were turning down jobs because they said the market was hot and they were in demand. That's what everyone else said, right? Well, that's not necessarily true, and these people could set themselves up with their own problems. Some of these people may accept reality. They may take jobs that they are overqualified for. They may accept lower salaries or go back into the office. And these are the people I think that will survive the best. But the number 2 kind of tech bro I think is going to struggle in this startup tech bubble burst is the aspiring startup founder. It seems like everyone in tech dreams of starting their own startup, either inventing a technology or building a company that solves a real world problem. Over the past 10 years, it's been a lot of young people with big ambition and partial knowledge of the market. They typically see a problem and try to solve it with technology. If you've been watching my video, you know in the layoff video, I mentioned a lot of companies that solve a real world problem with technology are laying off right now. Maybe technology cannot solve every problem, but having that kind of awareness takes an abstract view of the tech industry. And a lot of people who are aspiring to be startup founders are busy looking at other startup founders. So what will happen to these people? Well, I could imagine plenty of them will try to start a startup that doesn't turn a profit quick enough or doesn't turn a large enough profit. Standards are going to be much higher for startups from here on out. So there will be less time to wait for money to come in. Not everyone in tech thinks about the money. That's why sales engineers make so much money, because someone that can understand the tech as well as the urgency of sales is not very common in the industry. And a lot of these aspiring startup founders can find themselves in a position where they don't know sales. They put all of their life savings, time, and effort into a startup that no one really needs. I could also see a lot of these people staying frustrated in their steady corporate job, and it's a practical choice to do during these times. But I would be interested to see what happens when people have to stay stuck at their job when they want to be an inspiring founder. How do they handle that emotionally? Are they going to have all these side hustle businesses? Will they take that energy and put it somewhere else? But everyone who has a job should keep in their mind that they need to prove their worth. They need to save the company money. Really think about about it. How much a quarter do you save the company? It should be at least twice your salary. Okay, I get it. Not every job can measure how much it saves the company, but you can look at your peers on your team or look at other companies that do similar types of technologies to see where you stand. Moving forward, I don't think that it's startups that's going to make people rich. I think it's B2B services where people are inventing software that replaces jobs. People start consulting companies that automate processes that replace jobs. Or people have consulting companies where they outsource American jobs overseas. These are going to be places where a lot of money will be flowing. They're not the shiny tech startup that everyone's heard of, so this kind of thing won't be super popular immediately. If you're someone that could start a consulting company, think highbrow, but maybe now could be your time. And the number 3 type of tech bro, I don't think it's going to make it in the coming job market. Corporate politic people, and I break these up into 2 categories. 1, people who bring politics into the workplace, and 2, people who try to create politics in the workplace. So obviously 1, politics have been changing a lot the past 2 years, and it's been pretty crazy. But now that companies are struggling to earn profits and break records, they're going to act like more conservative companies. And what do more conservative companies do? They say, leave the politics at home, this is work. So people who casually bring politics up all the time at work are going to be seen as people who are disruptive to company culture and be on the layoff list. Employees who think that they can change a company because their politics don't align with what the company is doing, well, these people are also going to be on the layoff list. And people who discriminate against their coworkers on the job are going to be on the layoff list. If you want to express your politics at work, go to a place like Patreon where they openly discuss politics and they have a specific demographic that they want to hire. But if you want that big corporate money during a recession, then you got to leave some of your personal life at home. The number 2 aspect of corporate culture, I would say, are HR and operations people who spend all of their time concerned about company culture. This can either be through company events, people who are hired specifically to improve employment processes, people who are hired specifically to bring diversity into companies. As soon as money dries up, well, everything's conservative again. And these type of people, if they are not actively producing money, then they are liable to be chopped. And a lot of companies that really focus on company culture as their service that they offer, these applicant tracking systems or these HR conferences where they're always talking about changes and revolutionizing company culture, well, I think that's gonna slow down a little bit. I mean, it's been a pretty popular topic in HR for a few years, so it does have room to slow down. And these people may have to go into more traditional HR roles or find a different way to implement their skill set at other jobs. And that 3rd aspect of that corporate politics people are people who have been with corporate companies for a long time that are not actually good at their job. They are overpaid and underqualified compared to their peers. And unfortunately, this affects people who are more senior in their career. Someone that has 10 years of experience is going to cost a lot more than someone with 5 years, but maybe they can do the same skill level of work if that 10-year experience hasn't been challenged at every job. And if you have a job, you should be expecting challenge moving forward now that the company needs to squeeze more money out of every employee. If you work corporate, you know these kind of people that have been with a company for a long time and you know they don't get work done, they definitely are at risk of being on the layoff list. But that's my opinion of the tech bros. I think the people that will survive this environment the best are obviously those people who have good tenures. Now, if you've been at a company for 7 years, I hesitate to hire you because I don't really have a clue what you're looking for, and I assume that you need to go find what you're looking for instead of wanting people to come to you. People who've been at companies for 7 years typically haven't been challenged every day on the job for those 7 years, so they're not really as ambitious. A nice sweet spot is between 3 to 5 years, and a contract in there is okay, but please no back-to-back contract. I think people who are good at their job have nothing to fear. People who rank at top 10% on coding websites, or people with proven history of learning quickly. And 3rd, I think people who treat the job more conservatively are going to do better at the job. Like I mentioned, leave the politics at home, maybe even leave stories about the family at home. Show up to work on time or a few minutes early. Stay working until the end of work. Don't stop work 20 minutes before you get off and waste the time. Yes, this is conservative work type of advice, and when companies are losing money, this is the way you should behave if you want to keep your job. I do think a lot of people are going to get nipped in the butt. I am an anti-work recruiter and I love the movement, but anti-work is setting up a lot of people to get laid off or generally just struggle to get a job. At least in tech. The job market may be a little hot, I mean a warm pan, but things are definitely changing quickly. If you are looking for a new job or just trying to keep up with the tech industry, please subscribe to my channel. I have lots of resources for people looking for jobs, and I have a whole playlist about the tech bubble burst so that you can keep up to date onto what is happening. Let me know in the comments below. Number one, did I offend you by saying tech bro? But do you agree with anything that I said? I want to know if you think that I'm crazy, or if you're seeing signs in the market, or if you've seen some of these behaviors yourself in the industry. Thanks for watching my channel and checking out this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.